Hey, what's up guys, Eric Plays here. Welcome to my review on Cyberpunk 2077. As you guys may have known, I did a series of Cyberpunk on my PS5. The game was pretty good, story-wise, and the side missions and all that were amazing. I loved it. The game had awesome guns. I liked the guns a lot. They felt good, and especially the smart weapons. They were sick. As said, I'd give this game probably a 6 out of 10. This game was the most anticipated game of the year, and it was supposed to be one of the best games of all time. I had very high expectations. This game was in development for 8 years, but it was sadly disappointing seeing how many bugs and glitches that it had, considering that it's been in development for 8 years. I wouldn't mind waiting another 6 months for them to fix everything, but they did not do that. And of course everyone was angry because they kept on delaying the game. That's why you don't announce games that early. Anyways, that being said, we'll get more in depth with this. First off, I want to talk about the glitches. Everyone seems to be appearing to have glitches where characters are walking back and forth, or characters not rendering in or anything. I personally have this issue on PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5 is locked in at 60 frames per second, dipping around 55, maybe 57 during combat. I know on the PlayStation 4 Pro, it varied. So the PlayStation 4 Pro was around 30 to 25, while the regular PlayStation 4 was around 20 to 15, sometimes maybe even 10 frames during combat, which is absolutely ridiculous. They did not let reviewers test out the game early on the console, so nobody really knew, but we all expected it. Same thing with the Xbox One, the Xbox One X. Same issue. The Series X and the Series S did perform better, obviously, because they're the next-gen consoles. But since we're running on the last-gen version, it still had the bugs. Me, personally, I had all those bugs, even with the character rendering, which was weird. You wouldn't expect that on a PlayStation 5. Especially on next-gen hardware. I actually refunded it off of Steam and instead got on the PlayStation 5 just because I thought it would have been more optimized. My computer is pretty good, but I thought maybe the ray tracing would have been better on the PlayStation 5. I was clearly wrong. I did not remember that they weren't doing the free upgrade till later in 2021, which is kind of disappointing considering that you want to play on the next gen console. So you had to play on the PS4 version, which was very buggy, let's say the least, and the game kept on crashing. I don't know why it crashed. Sometimes the game would freeze and load in everything. I don't know why it would do that, especially when you're in the middle of the street doing like a purchase at like a clothing shop, whatever. The game crashed on me about 8 to 10 times while playing the game, which was absolutely ridiculous. AI walked through me, but police kept on spawning in, so I did this little crime report. I went to it. Cops were being held down. I killed the gang members that were killing the cops, and all of a sudden I got one level. Okay, so I backed up in an alleyway. It was a dead end. I was cut off behind me, so I was holding my ground. All of a sudden cops are spawning in right beside me, right behind me, in a dead end. So there's a wall behind me. There's no way that they could have got there. So they're all teleporting behind me, which is absolutely ridiculous, especially if you're trying to escape or survive. It's not fun where the cops are teleporting right behind you or beside you, might I add. So you're just dying. Another thing is the saving. You think that they would have good auto saving in a game, especially in 2020. No, the game, so say if you die, it would spawn you 10 minutes or maybe like 5 minutes behind of where you actually were in the game, which is absolutely ridiculous. Won't let you save during combat, won't let you save during a mission at specific times, only sometimes. So I was doing the final boss battle where you're killing Adam Smasher, and I had to keep on running up the stairs, go through the elevators, and just get up to the top floor every single time that I died, which is pretty frustrating, especially for a walkthrough. This game had tons of bugs. Jackie Wells was a good example. He was just walking back and forth, and it was during a cutscene where you're waiting for him and Misty to stop talking, which is not a big deal. You know, some games have bugs on launch day, but you wouldn't expect it right at the beginning of the game, especially characters despawning or glitches you'll see in like maybe part 4 or 5 of my Let's Play. I cleared out the thing with that weird gang with like with the chip or whatever. You pay him and you have to battle him through a warehouse. I had to go and talk to Jackie. Jackie wouldn't come outside the building and I couldn't get in, so I had to restart my game again, fight through the whole entire warehouse again, just to be able to get the cutscene properly. Obviously, it wasn't enjoyable, it wasn't a good experience, and I lost my immersion in the game. Which is absolutely ridiculous if you're waiting 8+ years for something that you want to play. Another thing is the money. They don't really pay you that much for jobs. They pay you like 1,000 eddies, and you have to just grind out these repetitive game side missions. So I did Delamain. I had to capture 7 different limos, and then at the end I got one of the limo cars, which is pretty neat, but still, it definitely wasn't worth it. They should be paying you more, and there should be some way that you can upgrade your apartment or something, but they didn't even do that. So the game was pretty bland in terms of property. It was random how you could buy cars, so like it was like randomized with the dealers. I didn't think that was pretty good, especially for a game where it's all about cars, money, getting up in the world. You didn't really feel that different going to the afterlife after you get your street cred up and your notoriety up. So I was at 90%, you walk into the afterlife, nothing happens, it's the same old shit. And the ending was pretty bad, you know, you wake up in a space station, and you get 2 options. It's either go back to Earth and die from the chip being removed, eventually, within months, or you get put into a database and they find a new body and put you into it. Both pretty shitty choices, but yeah, at the end it's literally just you go under procedure if you choose what I chose, which I chose to get put into the database, and that's it. Then you just get cutscenes. It was pretty shit. You're in the space station for a good 20 to 30 minutes doing the same testing or whatever. It was a pretty lame ending, and I think they should have ended it after you capture Yorinobu. But that's just my opinion. I gave the game 6 out of 10. The story was pretty good. I liked how you felt connected to the characters. I felt really bad for Victor having to keep on loaning money towards us to save our lives over and over again, and Misty helping us, and Jackie Wells and Mama Wells. It was a good story. You even hook up with the corpos or whatever. The little side missions with Judy Alvarez or a Stout. It was pretty good. Delamain was also a pretty cool little side mission. I mean, it got repetitive with the taxis. But overall, this game was really good story-wise. But it was super buggy, and it was kind of a bummer. And because of all the bugs and everything, the stocks tanked by, I think, 29% just a couple days ago when I'm recording this, which is the 14th of December. So it's kind of ridiculous. This game did not turn out to be what it is. It was still a good game, but it's definitely not Game of the Year worthy. I think there's definitely better launches compared to this. And, which is kind of funny that they said the multiplayer credits at the end of the game. There's no multiplayer in the game. Obviously it's coming next year, as they announced, but still kind of ridiculous that they have 8 years of development. But they can't fix bugs. They can't fix a proper auto-saving loading mechanism in the game, and they can't even have one of the features that was supposed to be in the game, so they're going to have to develop it for an extra year. kind of shitty on their end and our end that we don't get the feel the full potential of what this game could have been. Obviously, you can replay it after they patch all the bugs, hoping that they patch all the bugs, and hopefully don't just leave this game in shit. But yeah, I give this game a 6 out of 10. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and took something away from this video. If you have something to add that maybe I forgot, comment down below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.